Hello everyone, welcome back to Spooky Celluloid. I don't know why I did my intro like that. Today I'm just gonna do a collection update because it's been like a month and oh boy have I spent a lot of money. Lately I've been kind of chill with my purchases of movies, but in the last 2 months it's just been cray. We had Vinegar Syndrome, which I already posted on my Patreon, and I got a lot of stuff from Kino, from Severin, even some non-boutique stuff, which I forgot how shitty non-boutique releases truly were. Anyways, as you can see the stack behind me, we're gonna start off with a movie that I just got done watching. It is Kingdom of the Spiders, starring the Shatman, who is an actor I don't know how to feel about the Shatman. On one hand, I really like Devil's Reign, and on the other hand, I'm not a Star Trek geek, and also looks kind of like an asshole. I don't know, but Kingdom of the Spiders. Now this movie is from 1977. It's about spiders. It's basically Jaws, but with spider. You know, it's from that era of the 70s where there were a lot of these bugs creature features, kind of. This reminded me a lot of Ants, which was a TV movie. This I don't think was a TV movie. Anyways, I watched it this morning. It's pretty good. You know exactly what to expect from these types of movies from this era. Not a lot of CGI, so a lot of actual, animals getting obliterated. Yeah, these are from a different era, as I always like to say. But yeah, pretty decent film. It stars William Shatner and a lady that I really like, Tiffany Bowling. Well, I say I really like her just because she's in one of my favorite films, one of my favorite 70s exploitation films, The Candy Snatchers, which as I was watching this, I was like, God damn, she's beautiful, she reminds me of somebody. Checked on Letterboxd, I'm like, oh yeah, Candy Snatchers. And then I saw she was in a movie that has some pretty good reviews on Letterboxd, and some of my friends have seen it and they seem to enjoy it, which is called The Centerfold Girls. And I read the reviews and they were like, oh, this is sleazy, lots of TNA. So I thought to myself, I'm buying that right now. So as I told myself I was going to slow down on movie purchases, I bought a movie while I was watching this. So yeah, already spoiler for the next update. And also, this is a Kino Cult, number 14. I really do like the Kino Cult line. They re-release a lot of stuff that has already been released through Scream Factory and Code Red back in the day, but I don't really mind because they're way cheaper in Canada on Amazon.ca than their Scream Factory or their Code Red equivalent, which I know Code Red was under Kino at some points before Bill died, so it makes sense that they're slowly re-releasing the catalogs. The catalog of is it Scorpion 2 they had, or Dark Force, some other label. So yeah, some bonus audio commentaries by director, film critic. Not the type of commentaries I like to listen to, the film critic ones. Maybe an interview with Tiffany Bowling, typical stuff. Decent bonuses. I mean, these are very usually bare bones, but for like $21 to $28, I think these go for on Amazon.ca. That's a steal for here. And and this is the non-boutique release. I was gonna continue saying some other stuff, but this is Play Misty for Me, starring Clint Eastwood, and this is one that I purchased after watching The Beguiled, because I know Urshel for a while was on a big Clint Eastwood kick, which is why we did The Beguiled on the podcast, which the Don Siegel episode just came out. And yeah, Urshel talked to me about this one a lot, and it seemed pretty fucking cool. Clint Eastwood plays an absolute piece of shit, which I've come to realize those are probably my favorite roles from Clint Eastwood. I mean, again, The Beguiled, he played a massive cunt, and it was a great movie. So this seems to be in the same vein, and this is what I was talking about earlier. These non-boutique releases, I forgot how shitty they were. especially in Canada, because we have the titles, we have the bilingual releases, and I, as a French Canadian who supports French Canada and the continuing of French as a national language, it just looks ugly on the shelves. So that's kind of an issue for me, a complex mental issue of like, yeah, I appreciate bilingualism, but I also don't like having two languages on my shelves. Because if you see, I don't know if the lighting, if you're gonna see this, so you got the Play Misty for Me title, and then the French title, which is Un frisson dans la nuit, which is a shitty, stupid fucking title. It's basically, it translates directly to shivers in the night. Like, what does that mean? That's such a, like, shitty title. Play Misty for Me. I don't know how you translate that, but yeah, no. But yeah, Play Misty for Me, starring Clint Eastwood. Also, as I was saying, several titles have gone down significantly on Amazon.ca, which is hilarious, because for a solid 2 years, I think between 2020 to 2022 or 2019 to 2022, you couldn't even get several titles on Amazon.ca. They stopped shipping or selling them in Canada, and you had to go either through Unobstructed View, which back in the day, I don't even know if it existed yet, I don't know, or you had to go through Severin directly, or, you know, American resellers, and it costs like an arm and a leg. But now you can get Black Candles for like, shit, I think I paid $24, which is like a steal for a boutique label in Canada. This is Black Candles, as I've said. It is directed by a legendary filmmaker that I really need to get more into, Jose Ramon Larraz, who directed Vampires. What is it? Just Vampires? I think, and Symptoms. Yeah, Vampires and Symptoms. So I've seen Symptoms, which I think should be not far from here. Right here. Put out by Mondo Macabro. This movie's amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking incredible. Starring Donald Pleasance's sister. What's her name again? Angela Pleasance. Yeah, it's right on the cover. But like, this was, Symptoms is surprisingly very high, like, brow, which, I mean, I understand that he's a very highbrow director, but he makes a lot of sexual horror, and I'm surprised that I'm shocked that I haven't deep dived into his more sexual lesbian vampirism films, because it's one of my favorite subgenre of horror of all time, lesbian vampirism. So I'll definitely pick up eventually the box set, but this one sold me through the synopsis. When a young couple visits in-laws in the UK countryside, they will instead discover a haven of the occult where lesbianism, incest, sodomy, bestiality, and beyond may all be commanded by Lucifer himself. That's how you sell a movie to spooky celluloid. You throw in some incest, you throw in some sodomy, a bit of lesbianism, and you got me buying your gosh darn movies. But yeah, this is what the back looks like. Audio commentaries, yeah, no, typical, a documentary, that's pretty cool, and an interview with Gavin Badley, author of Lucifer, Rising, Sin, Devil Worship, and Rock and Roll. So this is probably a Satanism kind of occult horror, which I always love. 1982, so yeah, right in there, and that's Satanic Panic. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy this film. I've heard some good things so far. Then for some Unearthed, we got The Old Man movie, which is a film that my friends from the Sick on Cinema podcast have recommended ever since they watched it. I think this was sadly not a great seller for Unearthed films. This is a modern stop-motion animation. I think it's from Estonia. Which is pretty cool. I don't think I have any other movies from Estonia. And yeah, looks pretty fun. It looks like to be a dark comedy, which I always appreciate myself, a good dark comedy. And also it's stop motion, so I know it's at least going to be very, very visually striking. I do always love myself some stop motion animation. A more modern film than I usually buy. but again, I've heard nothing but great things. And I think, does it come with a booklet? No, it comes, it's really heavy though, it's a heavy case. I will say, Unearthed, they don't cheap out on their cases, you know. They don't have those recycled or whatever shitty cases that a lot of mainstream releases have. But yeah, Old Man movie, we'll see. I might review it. I don't know. I'm not much of a comedy film movie reviewer. I don't know. We'll see. Old Man movie. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought about it. More Severin. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of the same companies over and over again. We got An Angel for Satan, starring Barbara Steele. This, I really like this slipcover. You know, Severin. As you guys know, I'm not a big slipcover collector. Severin always does them decently, and of course there's a fucking stupid sticker. And I bought this on Amazon. Again, why? Alternative cover, and yeah, this is a 60s gothic horror film from Italy. A bit of eroticism, you know what your boy likes. Starring Barbara Steele, as I already mentioned. Yeah, this movie was gosh darn solid. This is a solid gothic horror, very atmospheric. The black and white cinematography is beautiful. Barbara Steele is gorgeous. Very kind of shocking ending. I wasn't expecting it. You know, it has that mystery, thriller-ish feel. Yeah. A lot of people are divided. I feel like most people like it, but a lot of people are disappointed with the ending. It does suffer from the very 60s, 50s, like, we gotta explain everything going on at the end. We gotta force feed the audience what the movie was about, which, I mean, again, some of the most beloved movies do that. I always think about Psycho from Hitchcock, which is a fantastic movie. It's a classic for a reason, but goddamn do I wish that ending didn't exist. Like, for me, it takes, like, a lot out of that movie. A movie that's, other than that, flawless. And again, this kind of tries to do the same, but not as bad. And again, I was kind of surprised to where the movie went. So, pretty good movie. Solid movie. Bruno Mattei action films. I love 80s Bruno Mattei action films. See the podcast, one of my birthday podcasts where we watch House and Strike Commando. Again, our birthday specials are always absolutely retarded. This week it's Minecraft and Belle de Jour. The Minecraft movie and Belle de Jour. But yeah, Double Target, I was paying half attention. I was talking to people while watching this. Maybe looking back, I should have just watched the fucking movie instead of talking to those people. But yeah, no, you grow up, you learn a thing or two about life, and you don't repeat your mistakes, kids. But yeah, this was, from what I remember, this is a Bruno Mattei 80s action film. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of nonsensical things happening in the story with the characters, but you're just there to see Filipino people and explosions. So this is exactly like, this is in the vein of Strike Commando, and it's the only one I can think of because it's one of my favorite. But Born to Fight, yeah, no, it's Robo War, those Bruno Mattei hood classics. Again, Unearthed, I completely forgot. Oh, I didn't forget I bought this, but you know, this is an older. This is usually my latest updates have been a lot of new stuff. This is a DVD from the early 2000s, I think. From Unearthed film 2004. So this is one that I've been looking for decades, and now that I've seen this director's other film, 964 Pinocchio, and it became instantly one of my favorite movies of all time, I absolutely needed to find this. Cult Collectibles, shout out, sold it to me for a very, very, very fair price. I've paid a lot more for older Unearthed titles than that. Yeah, Rubber's Lover, I haven't seen it yet, but no, basing what I know from Shozun Fukui, this is gonna be insane, and I'm probably gonna really love it. Hypersexual violence. Yeah, threw in some cult collectible stickers. Always cool. And yeah, this is old school Unearthed, which is always fascinating to see because Unearthed is still around. They've been around for decades, which is impressive. And the whole like companies that started this whole boutique label, underground kind of things, Unearthed was one of the first, and they're still kicking around, and they still do great work. They kind of slowed down on the Unearthed Classics line, which I really loved. But yeah, these are freaking, yeah, I can't wait to watch this. I feel like this is gonna be a certified hood classic. Now for what I got in the Alien Weeks of whatever the fuck Vinegar Syndrome called it. And what was surprising, what shocked me, is last month I ranted about them being so slow with shipping, and then this sale, I guess they watched my videos, they sent it 3 days after the sale. I was shocked. So a lot of daily deals, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of SOV, and of course you can't talk about SOV unless you talk about Blood Cult, which the history on Blood Cult is not one that I'm super duper ultra familiar with. All I know is that it was one of, if not the first, shot on video film that was made to be a commercial success in the States. It was made by a people, I think people from the Midwest that ran like a corporate video production company, and they were like, let's make a movie that's marketable, that can bring in some money for a super low budget on this new video technology. And that's what they did with Blood Cult. That's, if I'm not, marketed as a first movie made specifically for the home video market. Okay, that's the thing. Like, it was specifically, it wasn't meant to be theater and then video, but specifically made for the emerging video market at the time. 1985, so that's, yeah, that makes sense. That's around the time. And yeah, this is the same people that made The Ripper, which I also bought, and a couple other movies of that style, of that ilk, back in the early to mid 80s. So yeah, pretty cool. This is like, as someone who loves SOV films, this is like a seminal piece of SOV horror history, so I kind of felt like I needed it. Then we got The Iceman Cometh, which I thought was a VSA title for some reason, but it's not. This is a Hong Kong action flick. Of course, I do love myself some Hong Kong films. As you guys know, I do love this era of Hong Kong films that kind of blended multiple genres, whether it was horror, science fiction, you know, martial arts, and I do love myself some wizard fights. But yeah, I don't know what this one is, to be honest. I just knew a lot of people, again, I follow and I know on Letterboxd, gave it a lot of great reviews, and it's been a couple of sales that I want to pick it up. I just wasn't sure, and I finally pulled the trigger, and I think there wasn't that many left. I think this is one of the limited editions, which is why I thought it was VSA. But yeah, no, looks pretty cool. Then we got a modern film, which again, I don't usually buy a lot of, especially from boutique labels. I usually wait to see them before I buy them. But this one is one that I've been curious about for ever since it came out. Again, mixed reviews, but that's most modern horror films. And it's about an era of time in British culture that I absolutely love to study, as you guys know from my Video Nasties video. This is Censor, and it's about especially that era of Video Nasties and somebody working at the BBFC during that time, and yeah, going pretty much crazy, insane in the membrane, and committing murders. So yeah, this is VSP, which I think this is the first VSP I ever buy. Vinegar Syndrome Pictures, which are modern films produced or distributed by Vinegar Syndrome. So you know, I'm curious. I've heard good things when it came out at like Fantasia, and then I heard mixed things when it came out on home video. So I just wanted to make up my own damn mind. Also, it was like $18, so not a expensive watch. Then we get some trauma action with a story of a junkie. Sorry, people, I eat Caesar salad, and it's making me burpy. A Lech Kowalski film, a Polish director. Yeah, this is gonna be a hard watch because I don't like needles. I don't like people shooting up drugs, which whenever I say I don't like needles to, like, you know, older gentlemen and older women, they're like, yeah, but you have tattoos. I'm like, yeah, that's not the same. I don't like having a needle inject, like, I don't like the action of seeing the needle inject into me. A tattoo is not like a blood test or some shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I don't know a lot about this movie. I don't know a lot about any of these movies, really. Then we got Jodie Winecoop's action SOV film, Lost Faith, which is one I have absolutely heard nothing but amazing things about. Sick on Cinema Boys, again, are big Jodie Winecoop fans, and I just love this goddamn tagline. He lost his wife, he lost his patience, he lost his faith. There's just something about this that just tickles my fancy. And yeah, SOV, low budget, underground action film from the 90s, I think, I'm pretty sure. From the 90s, yeah, probably. 1992, directed by Jodie Winecoop, and if you don't know who Jodie Winecoop is, he's a madman, and I absolutely love him. And it's put out by Saturn's Core, which I forgot to mention. Blood Cult was put out by De Gauser. So it's funny because Vinegar Syndrome has a lot of sub-labels that put out the same types of movies, but whatever. Then we got a triple feature of horror. No, a triple feature of underground, confrontational, disturbing, if you may, films, Mexican or Spanish? I think they're Mexicans. Enrique Gomez Vadillo, Mexican director, so I also been getting into Mexican horror more lately, but these are independent, confrontational, low budget kind of sex dramas, nasty little films. It's the films of Enrique Gomez Vadillo. You have Death on the Beach, Johnny Chicano, and Savage Summer. Yeah, the sexual discovery, homoerotic, blah blah blah, hypersexualized. So all words I love. Where men's bodies are the focus of objectification. That sounds interesting. So maybe a lot of, maybe some homoeroticism in there. Yeah, they seem pretty cool. I mean, I just see underground, disturbing or fucked up movies and I'll buy them. So anything that's confrontational, I enjoy. And especially when it's from this era, low budget. So yeah, pretty fucking cool. Can't wait to dig into those. They're also like pretty short, I think. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, we are almost done. Sadly, we got 2 box sets. I said I wasn't gonna buy these sets anymore, other than the Forgotten Giallo, because they take too much space. But they didn't offer this as the regular version. So if you remember my last update, I got volume 1, but just on your regular Blu-ray Slim case. Then I wanted to do the same, and I couldn't, because they didn't sell a standard edition of this. So now I'm stuck again with another box set, which I only have the second volume on in the actual box. But yeah, no, it's not the end of the world. I don't really care. The box looks great. We have Moonstalker, which I have watched, and it is, as I say, a movie. It's this regional slasher that's in the winter, a camp slasher, but in the winter, and people get killed. There's, of course, a mongoloid son of somebody, of a local redneck, that goes on a spree. Creative kills, and easily one of the highest number of murders in a film from the genre. I guess I say that, and I'm not being like facetious, or I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like, this is a banger. It's just one of those bangers, you know, kind of like a movie that should ride the short bus. Maybe I should add it to my list on Letterboxd. Dead Girls, which I thought I didn't know anything about it. Then I'm pretty sure I have a bootleg of it somewhere. Yeah, right here. I can get rid of that now. So yeah, this is my bootleg that I bought and never watched, like most of those bootlegs. So now I have an official release on Blu-ray, so it's probably gonna look way better than that VHS transfer. The shot on video. Is it shot on video? First film feature from first film feature from shot on video director Dennis Devine. Who is that man? Why haven't I heard about him? This movie is 106 minutes long. God damn, Mr. Devine. You sure as shit don't respect our time as people who enjoy shot on video. Well, this isn't shot on video, but you know what I mean. 106 minutes seems a bit excessive for what I assume is gonna be an all-girl rock band. Dead girls have made a name and plenty of controversy for themselves, which glorified recording songs which glorify death and self-death. Blah 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 blah. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty fun. And then finally, which I don't think I even did, I switch to the alternative cover? Because if that's the original cover, it kind of looks like ass. I don't think that's the original cover. We got Hanging Heart. Again, I don't know. These are all regional horror films. 103 minutes. We gotta make a rule, people. How long was Moonstalker? 92. Even that was a bit long for what that movie was. We gotta make a rule. Super independent, low budget, regional slashers have to be under 90 minutes, kids. I don't have all day. The first feature film from Korean immigrant and American Film Institute graduate Jimmy Lee, Hanging Heart is a stylized thriller with one foot planted firmly in the art house genre, and the other paying loving tribute to slashers and jolly. Okay, you got my attention now. Maybe not for 103 minutes, but you got my attention. So yeah. So that was the Homegrown Horrors Volume 2 set. Again, I got the first volume. I watched one of the movies, and I really enjoyed it. Did I watch one of the movies? Oh yeah, I watched that. I was gonna say that snow one, but this is. Wait, where is my goddamn home? Oh yeah, Winter Beast. That's the one. Yeah, okay, yeah. I watched Winter Beast, and that was fun. So yeah. Moonstalker was also fun. So yeah. And finally, a set that I've been looking forward to getting for a while now. I have the book. I bought the book, but never the set. Like, I've had the book for 2 years. Ever since last Horrorama, I've had that book. Did I read it? A couple pages in. But now I finally have the set, House of Psychotic Women. Beautiful set. They just released volume 2. Just look at the details. Like, Severin makes such beautiful sets. Just love the design. 4 movies, so one more. We got I Like Bats, which is a Polish art house new wave vampire horror film. So if you don't know, the concept of House of Psychotic Women is basically movies in which female rage is at the center of the films. Think of something like Possession, these types of movies. So I Like Bats. I compared it to Vampire's Kiss, but art house and Polish, and I feel like that's a good comparison. And not a comedy. This isn't a comedy, but it was a fine goddamn movie, and I love that cover. Then we got Identikit, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. Again, this is Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor is in this. That's pretty cool. Italian, okay, this one's Italian, makes sense. Andy Warhol is in this. What the shit is going on? And it's directed by Giuseppe Patron Griffi. Yeah, this is gonna be one that I'm gonna watch ASAP, because this sounds fucking wild. That cast is insane. Then we got Footprints, which I already had individual release. I hadn't seen it yet, so if you're looking for a copy of Footprints, just hit me up. I have an extra copy to sell. And this I've heard, again, nothing but good things. Well, on the Moods podcast, Moods and Tyler, that other guy really loved it. JP hated it. JP probably hated it. I'm sorry, JP, if you're watching. I know you shouted me out. I feel bad for saying that, but JP probably didn't like it because it's probably too much of a thinker. Too much of a movie you have to think. I know JP's a big fan of 90s horror, and those weren't made for you to think. But you know, sometimes you gotta watch a movie that makes you think, JP. Sometimes you gotta, you know, put yourself in a mind where use your brain sometimes. Stop. I hope he doesn't watch this. Love all of those three guys, but come on, JP, you got some terrible takes sometimes. Let's be honest. It's directed by Luigi Benzoni, Italian, Florinda Balkan, of course, stars in this, and it's an underscene giallo, and you know your boy likes an underscene giallo. And then finally, oh no titties, no YouTube. What is this movie? The Other Side of the Underneath. I don't hear anybody talk about this one when they talk about this set. From 72, seriously disturbing, part documentary, part primal screen. It's directed by it's directed by a woman. Feminist radical theater icon Jane Harden. Shit, this sounds pretty fucking amazing. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, okay. An actor from Black Torment, which is a British film. Is this British? This looks fucking great. Holy shit. Yeah, this looks beautiful. This looks like a British film. Yeah, this. God damn, we might have found a little gem in there that I didn't know about, like, at all. The Other Side of the Underneath. That's also a banging title. Holy shit. Rarities. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Volume 2 eventually. But yeah, pretty cool set. If I do say so myself. And yeah, that's about it, people. A lot of movies, a lot of sets, a lot of triple features, double features. I got myself a lot of work cut out to go through all of these little movies, which I might have more time to do in the future. More on that later. Keep your eye out on the channel because I'll talk about that later. But I don't like to end on a somber note, but yeah, no. This channel, let's just say, yeah, no. Anyways, you guys have a good one.